Okay, morning guys, this is AC 1.2, lesson 4. Okay, and just to remind you about 1.2, remember this is the big criteria in your controlled assessment, so we're making sure all this work gets done really well, aren't we? Okay, and today's session is all about the UK profiling technique. It's sometimes called a bottom-up approach because you look at the evidence and work your way up to get the theory based on what you think the offender is going to be like. Well, the American one is you have these organised and disorganised, and you work your way down and make sure that one of the offenders fits in either an organised or disorganised. There's going to be bits and bobs in this lesson. Might be difficult without us all being in a lesson together and me helping you. So at any stage this is too much, either just wait and get hold of me on Teams and I help you, give us a call, or skip it. But I'd rather you have a go so you can see what it is. So these bottom-up approaches are sometimes called circle theory or geographical profiling. You'll see well. Okay. I'm sure we're all missing Cirencester dearly. Some of us may live there or close in South Cerney. So what I want you to do, whatever your knowledge of Cirencester, just take 5 minutes and sketch a map of the town. Okay, your knowledge is different, so some will be massively detailed, others aren't. Okay, so first of all, I want you to do that. Pause the video, draw your map of Cirencester for me. So this is what we call a mental map of Cirencester. This is what a perfect map would have looked like. This is where the college is. Those of us who live in Swindon, we come off the A419. Get in there, there'll be the Tesco's, the fire station up to where the hospital is, up to college. We've got the town, we've got Costa somewhere around here. That's all about I know, I think. Yes, swimming pool. Okay. So it depends on what your knowledge of Cirencester looks like and see how kind of good it is. We've got beaches over there, Chesterton. Okay, so you can see how good your map is. Keep hold of that map. We're going to use it again. Okay. So geographical profiling. The idea of this is that crime is not randomly distributed. Okay. Offences happen in certain places and certain times more, and this kind of the idea here is that we try and make predictions about the offender based on the information and the location of the offences. So there's loads to this, so you'll see what we're going to go on to do. So profiling is linked, it does 4 things. First of all, it tries to help us understand what crimes are linked together by the same offender or group of offenders, so we can cluster them together when we're doing our detective work and all that kind of stuff. It might help us predict characteristics of the offender, like where they live, what kind of knowledge they have of the area. Are they all by railway lines or something like that? Okay. It will help us understand the link between the location and the crime in areas. And also then this will help us kind of do some crime prevention stuff. Really interesting. One of our former students is actually just about to finish his PhD looking at this. Okay, and quite often, well, probably would have come in to give us a lecture, but not there. So it can be used for loads of things. The sexy, interesting stuff at the top, work out what offences are done by the same person and find out where they come from or what they know about the area, but probably the stuff that's used more near the bottom. So this is the task I'm worried that you might struggle with, so have some patience. Ooh, what's that, Kevin, you ask? What's that? So what I want you to do, I've attached a map of Cirencester, quite a detailed ordnance survey map, and what I want you to do is these crimes happened in Cirencester. Okay, so I want you to plot them on the map, then work out how many offenders you think are responsible and anything else you can suggest about the offenders. Okay, so this will take a bit of time. Obviously your knowledge of Cirencester, if you have it, will make it maybe a bit easier. There's some like near college and some in beaches, okay, to give you some help. So plot that first. So you've been sent this map. and these are the 11 points on the map. Okay, that's what I found. So what you hopefully will notice, okay, is that there are 2 offence clusters. Okay. Oh, easy jet sail. And when I did this, I'm not going anywhere, are we? Oh, boo. So what does that tell us? Are they 2 separate people or not? So what you'll see here is on the one near beaches that people are just like driven around the road. It's like opportunity. Okay, they're kind of driven around the road and found some houses that might have been empty or easy to burgle. And then down on the bottom left in Chesterton, dotted around the area. So this kind of leads on to something called routine activity theory. It's linked to geographical profiling. It's all the same thing. Okay, but by looking at these, we might be able to find something about the routine of the person, so their everyday example. So an example here, so the ones near Chester, I've blown this up. If you look, you can kind of find where the middle, and this is what we call the circle theory, but they don't have to be circles, is like the hot zone in the middle. And what we would have predicted is this is where the person would have actually lived or had a base. Okay, so when you think about you're going to do a crime, you're going to go, right, I want to do it completely random. I want to go one in that direction, one in that direction, and one over here, one over here. But your human minds don't think randomly. That makes it that we're in the centre somewhere. Okay, so good hint, if you ever want to do crime or bury bodies, put 100 locations, give them a number, put them in a hat, pick them out. Oh, I'm burying a body at place number 3 today. Oh, number 99 today. And then they won't be able to use this theory against you. Okay, but you didn't hear that from me. Okay, you didn't. Okay, so this one is actually an example of real crime where the person kind of did live. Okay, it was a while ago, so hopefully none of you were a victim of any of these burglaries, but that's what they found. Okay. So this is actually called Dragnet. Okay, so this is a computer profile that kind of finds this hotspot. And as I said, the student who we have who's just finishing his doctorate on this is actually a person working on this Dragnet kind of design. And it's really good. It kind of tells you where the centre of all the kind of the crimes are. So it kind of tell you that this place probably has some interest for you. What we'll see, the case I'll get you to research shortly is a guy called the railway rapist, John Duffy, and you'll see he committed all of his offences near a railway line. So we kind of knew that was important to him, and you'll find out why. Okay, so I know what you're thinking is how the hell did they come up with this? And so what the kind of UK research did, they looked at 80 odd US serial killers and plotted their murders and kind of worked out the statistical program from there. Okay, so that it's based on scientific stuff. This isn't just someone making up. However, what's important here are your mental maps. Okay, your map of scientists might have been really detailed. If that's the case, you could bury bodies everywhere and no one might find them. But if it's very primitive knowledge, it might be harder. So you'd be using kind of prime locations, probably like the roads that you go into college on. Okay, so we have to be careful of this, is that there might be some gaps because of the person's knowledge of the area. Okay, so the less you know, you're going to be using more kind of mainstream places. The more you know, the more kind of dark alley, backward places in the middle of nowhere. Okay, so these are examples of maps. So this, I got these from one of the books I have called Mapping Murder by David Cantor, who's like the godfather of British profiling. Okay, he's a cool dude. He's written loads of books. Just get them. I don't know how you can. So Mardi Gras bombings in London. They plotted where all the bombs went off. I don't know, 20 or so years ago. Okay, so you got the locations, and H1 and H2 were the 2 houses where the bombers were from. And you can see how the Dragnet kind of hotspots kind of were at. And another one, Simon Woodlands. This guy is genius. Google him. Okay, he'd make phone calls to say, "I've got your relative, give me loads of money," and they hadn't. He just pretended because they're out of business or stole their phones and stuff. Okay, so they could actually locate his house based on where he made these phone calls from. Okay, so do some research. It is just funny, this guy. So real examples of how it is used. So what's good about geographical profiling? It might help us be able to deploy resources. As you know, the police are stretched. We can't do everything. So being able to say, look, actually focus on this area might be a good starting point if there's no other obvious kind of signs of anything. I've alluded to this already. This is based on psychological principles based on science. Okay, so in theory, it makes it more reliable, more valid, because this isn't like subjective like the FBI one was. Oh, I think that's important. Right, this is where it is. Let's put them into a computer program and see if it works. So makes it more scientific and reliable in theory, but it depends on your data. I'll come on to that. The data. If you don't have accurate data, your profile's rubbish. What if you haven't linked a crime? That's really important. Okay. We don't know, so we just might not have good data. We might have data that's not useful for when we construct the maps. Okay. And you have to be able to share this information. So it's got loads of potential use. Okay. But unless people share data, it won't be used for as much. Okay. So standard work to do. Okay. What is geographical profiling? Tell me why it's good. Tell me why it's not so good. Outline the case and then make a judgment. There is just stacks of stuff on here. Okay. I'm sending you another document, which for those of you who want to go stretch yourselves to read. But honestly, Google geographical profiling. You're going to get loads. There's loads of real books about it. So fill your boots. I'll be on Teams if you need anything, and have a great half term, and we'll see you or speak to you on June the 1st, and maybe see you not long after. Maybe. Hope you're all well, guys. See you soon.